Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. What's important now, more than ever, is that we're taking care of ourselves as well as each other. I truly hope that every single one of you is doing well, alongside with your families and loved ones, and I hope that everyone continues to stay safe and be healthy throughout this uncertain time. Today, we are finally here to celebrate Northview's graduation for the class of 2020. First, before anything, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much because I can only begin to convey with words how grateful I am for everything that everyone has given me. Thank you to my parents who have made countless sacrifices just for me to even be here today. Thank you to you, my fellow co-graduates, who have made these past 4 years an absolute blast no matter what we faced. Thank you to all the staff and teachers for your continued support and guidance. It is through your hard work and dedication that Northview is and continues to be great. As we say our farewells and as we pick up our diplomas, I'm sure we all should realize that we have a lot to be grateful for. In these 4 years, I've come to love this family of ours at Northview. For sure, it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows, but it didn't have to be. Who wants to hear about a story without hardships and obstacles? Any great author knows that wouldn't be a story worth telling. The best stories are the ones where people are able to overcome difficulties together, because it's only in stories like that that there's something genuine to relate to. Tough times make tough people, and I'm sure you've all heard me say that in the last 4 years a little bit too much, but it's something I truly believe in. And us graduates in the year of 2020, we're a literal example of this statement. There is no better single saying that I can think of that better suits our stories. So let's open the book and take a look at the start of this story. The era of great disasters, that's known as grade 9. It feels so long ago. We were all so different back then. In those days, my only area of expertise was getting lost in the hallways. But in my defense, Northview is huge, and with waves of people pushing back and forth to get through during transition, it wasn't exactly easy. And sometimes there were like people who would stand in a circle and block out the entire hallway. It got to a point where sometimes transition felt like a fitness class with the amount of running you had to do just to get to class on time. It was crazy. Grade 9, though, is really that one year where you look back at your humble beginnings, but you also remember something super embarrassing that to this day, you're still trying to wipe from your memory. Grade 10 was a jam-packed tragedy. The bus drivers of the Finch West bus that year decided, you know what? We aren't going to stop at the bus stop in front of Northview anymore. So basically anyone that needs to go down Finch to get home, they can just go to the Bathurst and Finch stop, which is totally not crowded at all, huh? But anyways, I'll tell you something for sure. Cold winter days shivering at a crowded bus stop were anything but a high school highlight. But it's a fact that those days were really the ones that forged a sort of mental resilience for me. That experience taught me that although sometimes in life it may feel like we're waiting for a metaphorical bus that will never come, it doesn't mean good things aren't on their way. It just means that the transit system is a little bit delayed. So when you press onwards towards the upcoming chapters of your life, remember that as you trudge through what feels like a never-ending winter, you are still promised spring days and its beautiful blossoms. Grade 11 was wild. One random memory that I still have is probably one where I just dressed up as a banana for one day because I lost a bet. And another crazy thing that year was probably TikTok, because that's probably when it got really out of control. I remember I would go to get a drink from the water fountain and someone would be making a TikTok. I would go to the guidance office to hand in my volunteer hours and someone would be making a TikTok. I would literally be running up and down the stairs in fitness class, and guess what someone was doing? Yeah, exactly, right? And there were so many other random and funny occurrences that year. But I'm sure, like, in the future, when you need a funny memory to pluck up from high school and tell your kids about, honestly, grade 11 was a comedic jackpot for that. And then we flipped the page to grade 12. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say grade 12 had quite the plot for us. Despite all the stress and the worries, we still managed to make a lot of wonderful memories. We had our very first Halloween Spooks Fest and our very first Valentine's Day Hallway of Hearts, which were very successful thanks to the work of many of us graduates. We also experienced our last semi and our last holiday assembly as well. Of course, I can't forget to congratulate the boys senior basketball team for their wonderful championship regional victory for the North. When we look back at grade 12, there certainly are a lot of memories that are enjoyable. Now we've moved a little bit forward towards a point in time which was about 8 months ago. This, on the chilly evening of March 12th, 2020, we received news that our March break was being extended until April 4th. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but honestly, for me, I was more than happy to spend 2 extra weeks away from calculus class. But little did I know, little did we know, that that would be the last time. The last time that we walked down those hallways as students of Northview. The last time that we sat in high school classrooms, and the last time that we would run to the plaza and back in the last 10 minutes of lunch just to grab a snack. When you look back at our last year, I'm sure it's so easy to just pessimistically say it was a bad year and it was just all a disappointment. I'm sure it's tempting to just throw it away and forget about all of it. But is that really the narrative that you have to take from this year? It doesn't have to be that way. Even though we weren't next to each other physically, we were still together. We would still check up on our friends who are skipping online classes, and we would still ask for homework from the friends that were actually doing online class homework. We would still complain about our marks and our courses like we were still in school, even though our marks couldn't even go down anymore. We came together to enjoy Northview's virtual talent show, and although we miss senior prank, I guess in a way you could say that us seniors ourselves got pranked with the way that our last year ended. Despite the school closures of our last year, honestly, grade 12 is still an outstanding chapter in the story of our lives. Despite all the times, all the different things that happened on a worldwide scale and within our own individual lives, we're still here now in this moment. So when you look back on these days, hold your head high, class of 2020, and be proud. We've made it through an unprecedented time, and there were many different challenges associated with that. Sure, we didn't have a perfect senior year, but that doesn't mean we should just throw all the good outside the window. This year proved to us that we are one of the most strongest, most resilient graduating classes in all of history. The narrative of this year is not that senior year was canceled. The narrative of this year was that senior year was different and difficult, but we got through it together, and there were still memories that we will hold for all of our life. So as the formal ending of our time at Northview comes near, the memories, the experiences, the misadventures will live on. Thank you, everyone. I am so blessed to have been part of this graduating class. And although from here on out we may walk different paths, I'm sure that this is not the end of our story together, but much rather a to be continued. Congratulations, everyone. We did it.